So if you haven't already figured out, just by the title of this video, the trick I'm going to be showing you is really, really cool, and it's going to work every single time. So this is basically what it looks like. You're going to have a spectator say stop whenever they want. In this case, I'm going to have you guys say stop, but since you're not here, I'll do it. But anyways, wherever we say stop, I'm going to be telling you right now the card you're going to land on is the 9 of diamonds. So go ahead, you can say stop wherever you want. We can go through the deck, and you can do this with your own spectator too. You can just keep going through until you absolutely want them, or once they want to say stop. So let's say they were to say stop right here. Like I said, does not matter. It's a completely random card. This is the card we happen to stop at, guys, and this card happens to be the 9 of diamonds, just like that. So this is the trick. It's going to work every single time, and if you want to do it, don't forget to stick on for the tutorial. Alright, so here's how the trick is going to work. So as you guys saw, it was really, really simple. It really only took me about like 30 seconds to actually do the trick, and the setup is just as simple. So what you want to do is take a group of cards, maybe like this much or so, really not a lot, but just a little bit like this, and you flip that over so the deck is going to look just like this, and you're not going to be able to show the spectators what's going on. So let's say this is the top half of the deck with most of the face down cards. When you flip the deck over, this is going to be the side with only a couple face down cards on top, and this card here is going to be your prediction. So in this case, we have the 8 of diamonds, and you can write this down. You can tell the spectator, verbally that they're gonna stop you at the 8 of diamonds or whatever. But like I said, whatever you want to do to make the effect a little bit more magical, I guess you can kind of do it any way you'd like. But I just showed you guys like the bare bones thing in the performance. So you're going to flip the deck over. The card that they're going to stop at is the 8 of diamonds. So you can have them literally say stop wherever they want to, and I'm telling you, they're not going to have you go through the entire deck. So let's just say they keep going, they can say stop wherever they want, and you want to make sure the cards are kind of like messy on the table, because that is going to give you an excuse to square up the cards. I'll show you what I mean. You're going to go ahead and keep going, and let's say they were to say stop. And now from here, what you do is you can misdirect the spectators, and you're going to tell them, they could have stopped you anywhere they wanted to in the deck. And as you're talking to them, all you have to do is flip your left hand over real casually and square up this packet of cards, and that gives you the reason or the opportunity to flip over this deck unnoticed. So you put this on the table and you say, look, the next card is going to be the 8 of diamonds. You can flip this over and show that to them, and this is pretty much the end of the trick. And the reason why I flipped over more cards than I really needed to is just so if the spectators did see a little bit of flash here, they can only see the face down cards anyway. So this is a trick, guys. Hope you guys like it, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, guys, thanks. Today I have a really interesting card trick to show you all. So essentially, you have this deck of cards, and what you're gonna have you do, or what you're gonna have your spectator do, is you're going to have them pick really any card they want to in the deck, and you're gonna tell them that you're gonna know exactly where it is. So this actually works better if you have 2 spectators. So let's say we have one spectator. Go ahead. Let's say spectator number 1 says that they want, let's say they want to pick the suit of the card. So they go ahead, they pick any suit. Let's say they were to say diamonds. What you do is you'd go through the deck real quick. You'd show them, all right, so you want a card, right? The diamond looks like this. So they have the diamond picked out, and you say, all right, so spectator number 2. The first one's picked a diamond. Go ahead and pick any value you want for this diamond. So let's say they were to go ahead and they were to pick 9. So let's say they want the 9 of diamonds. And at this point, guys, you are going to tell them that you're going to look for the card, and this card is going to be in the 16th position. So you go ahead, you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The 16th card is the 9 of diamonds. So this is a trick, and it works for every card, guys. If you want to do it, don't forget to stick on for the tutorial. Alright, so a while ago I said I was going to make another video using the size step and stack. Now, I know it's kind of annoying to put it in this order, and if you don't know, I'll be showing you guys how to do that as well, but If you do have a couple of decks laying around, I would advise you to probably just, take one of those decks and then put it aside so you can solely use it for this. Only because there's a lot of cool tricks that involve this, but anyways, here's what it looks like. So as I was editing the video, I noticed that I completely messed up in teaching you guys the size 7 stack. I put them in the wrong order, but essentially, you guys didn't see that, so this is going to be how this trick actually works. So you go ahead, you go through the 4 suits. You have the clubs, the hearts, the spades, and the diamonds. You'll have these ace through king in this arranged order, and then what you're going to do is start off by taking them and putting them in something called chased order. So you have the clubs, the hearts, the spades, diamonds. It's important that they are in this order. So you go ahead, you start off by taking the ace from the clubs, you put that on top, you add 3, so then you go to 4, you take all the cards from below, so you take the 4, you give the cards a cut, and then you add 3, so you're going to get to 7. You're going to cut the cards at 7. You're going to go ahead and go to 10 on the diamonds and go ahead and put these together. So this is the first part, and then you're going to put these in the same exact chased order. So you have clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds, and you keep doing this until you have the entire deck in that size 7 order. So this is the first part, and then I'm going to show you guys how to do the actual trick. So this one is a little variation of a trick I saw a while ago. Now essentially, like I said, this card or this deck is in size 7 stack. Now what you're going to do is, the way I'm going to teach this to you guys is going to be a lot easier than the other way that I've seen it done. But essentially, it's really great if you have this for 2 spectators. Even if you have 1, it's not that bad, but if you have 2 spectators, it makes it a little bit easier. So in this case, let's say we have the first spectator over to the left here. Now, when you're talking to them, you're going to tell them that they're going to pick any suit they want to from the deck. And as you're doing that, you can go ahead and give the cards a few cuts. Now, when the deck is in size 7 stack, it doesn't matter how many times you cut the cards. So you can cut as much as you want. At this point, let's say the spectator was to say a club. So you say, all right, so you wanted to pick a clubs, and what you're doing is you're going through and you're looking for the king of clubs. And now what you do is you cut the card. All right, so if they said hearts, spades, or diamonds or whatever, you would look for that king. You would take the cards from the king, and then you would cut the entire deck. So now the king's on the bottom. You say, all right, so the club looks like this, right? All right, so that's the card you want, or the suit, and you leave it on the table. And that's the one way of casually getting the deck in the order that you need it to. So I'm going to go ahead and have the second spectator. Let's say they can pick any value, and here's what you are going to do. So there's a little formula. It takes 2 seconds, but essentially, let's say the spectator picks any value of the cards. Let's say they were to pick a number like 10. So there is a way to do this trick where you actually eyeball the bottom 4 cards. But essentially, you'd have to have them laid out a little bit so you can kind of memorize the bottom 4 cards here. And then, anyways, here's how this is going to work. So let's say the king's value is obviously 13. So whatever value the spectator card picks, so the number, let's say they wanted to pick the 10. So they pick the 10 of clubs combined. And so what happens is you're going to take the number 13, and king is worth 13. So you take 13 minus 10, which is 3. And now whatever the difference is between the king and the card they chose, whatever the difference is, you go ahead and multiply it by 4, and that is going to be the position of the card. Alright, so I don't know if this is going to really help you guys, but essentially this is what is going to look visually. So you take the number 13, so that is going to be, the 13 is a standard number, that is going to be there every single time for the trick. You've moved the king to the bottom, that's why you take 13 minus the value of whatever card they pick. The jack's going to be 11, the queen's going to be 12. And whatever the difference is, we're going to call that x. Okay, so it could be any number. In this case, we use the 10, so the difference is going to be a 3. And then you always multiply the difference by 4, regardless what the number is. And whatever that number is times 4, that is going to be the position of the card. So this is going to be the visual. I'll leave this up here in case you guys still want to see that. But essentially, like I said, we're going to do 3 times 4, which is going to give us 12. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are going to have, what we say, the 10, with the 10 of clubs. There we go. So we got the 10 of clubs, and that's how the trick is going to work. And like I said, there was another way to do this where you don't necessarily have to have 2 spectators and all that, but if you guys want to see that, you can leave a comment. But this way is a lot easier, guys. All you have to do is ask the spectator what suit they want. In this case, let's say they wanted to pick a spade, so you say, all right, so you want the spades. These are what the spades look like, right? So you have them, you look at that. You have the king set up, they pick whatever value they want. Let's say they were to pick an 8. So you do 13 minus 8, which is going to be 5. 5 times 4 equals 20. their card is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is going to be their card. We said the 8 of spades. So that is the trick, guys. Hope you guys like it. And as always, thanks for watching.
Why, hello, I'm Pruitt, and Jim has joined me here today to read the tea leaves, cast the bones, and look at the entrails of the fatted calf. For you do not need to be an oracle to know that this is Divinations on WebDM. What is there to see in the divination school?
I see a spell school that has a lot of promise, that is a fun school to play, but that has some spells in it that at the higher levels are difficult to make rulings for and sort of like incorporate into play. And of course, a lot of dungeon masters, they don't like a lot of divination spells. They can negate mysteries and things like that.
Yeah.
But then in the lower levels, there are a lot of divination spells that I kind of use a phrase to describe them as like a light switch. They are binary. You either have them or you don't, and if you have them, it completely bypasses certain challenge types, and if you don't, you're sort of like
Still in the dark.
stuck. Right. And so divination is this weird sort of school. The player's handbook version mentions divination spells as sort of revealing information, offering glimpses of the future, locations of hidden things. There's sort of an anti-illusion aspect to divination, as well as distant visions and extending your senses beyond their normal reach. To that definition...
Both in space and time.
And both in space and time. And to that definition, I would add those spells that let you question an entity of some kind. There are a lot of spells that let you seek an answer from an extraplanar entity of some kind, as well as those spells that deal with like actual prophecy. You're talking to like a god or an oracle or something, and that's, I guess that's kind of the glimpses of the future. But you know, to me, they're a bit of a different type. So lots of spells fall in these, right? Detect magic, detect thoughts, those reveal information, locate objects, locate creatures, sort of finding the locations of hidden things, anti-illusion, there's true sight, see invisibility, lots of different ways to kind of interact with the game world. And what I like about divination, before we get into all of all the things that I've done, is that I like that it's a spell school devoted to uncovering secrets.
Yes.
And revealing hidden things. And as we've talked about very often on WebDM, that I see dungeon mastering in part as being the transfer of information about the world, about the scenario that's being played, to the players. I like to use techniques that let the players give me feedback about that and have a stake in the game for that. But in a more traditional game, the dungeon master has all the secrets, or most of the secrets,
right,
and they are dispensed one way towards the party, and a diviner is like a superhighway of that. There's so many different spells that they can uncover hidden information about the campaign world, about the past, about all these things. That means that if you're a dungeon master who likes to have a rich backstory to your world that you then use to inform the scenario that you're playing, then having a diviner means that you have an opportunity to reveal some of that backstory to your world, and tie things together more, and sort of create a richer, fuller, more multi-layered kind of setting.
It's for those DMs that really did all the backstory, they really got all, like every piece of everything has a whole history behind it. You got a diviner in your party, you're probably going to be a little bit happy.
And they're going to be glad that there is information to uncover, right? Like that's the other thing with the diviner, is that, you know, if there's not hidden things to uncover, if there's not opportunities for the diviner to learn something new, to gain information about their enemies, or to plan ahead, we're going to use these information gathering tools to kind of get an idea of what's immediately ahead of us, so we're prepared for it. Then you're just there for the, you know, ritual magic at first level and some neat abilities that you get like later on, instead of like fully embracing this idea of someone that like uses magic to learn and to gather information and to use that then. Knowledge is power kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. First level has a couple of good ones. A couple of these light switches you were talking about, right?
It does. It's got several that, and particularly for the arcane casters there, the some of the lower level magic, divination magic is like, if you have it, the encounter or challenge or whatever is nothing.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're stuck. So an example of that would be Comprehend Languages. Comprehend Languages is a ritual spell that lets you read languages as well as understand languages that are spoken to you. It doesn't impart any ability on you to communicate with them. But I'm thinking of scenarios in which, like, the ancient text or tome or whatever that's in an indecipherable language, bards and wizards and knowledge clerics and whatever have to travel to a different place to begin to learn a third language, which will help them then translate this. Then they need to seek out a Rosetta Stone type thing. And so there's all these quests that can surround an object that has mysterious information in it, that they can't quite unlock. And maybe that's once they get the tome. Maybe there was a whole adventure just to get it in the first place, right? Comprehend Languages, it's that all of that potential for tension and revealing information and going to interesting locations and talking to NPCs, that potential for adventure is negated by a 10-minute ritual. And it's one of those things where getting to the end point in which you can read the ancient tome, you can decipher the long lost runes on the dungeon wall, you can understand the secret language of the magic sword that you have and understands, it's the secret words or whatever. You want them to get there, or it will be fun when they get there, right? Yeah. It will be an interesting time once they've done that. But at the same time, like, having it be something that a 10-minute ritual can take care of means that you lose a lot of that. You lose a lot of this potential for adventure that's there. And that's why I see a lot of them that are like that. Comprehend Languages, Identify is one of those. In some cases, Detect Magic is something like that, where it's an absolute. You either have it or you don't, and if you have it, then none of these sorts of challenges are ever they're never really going to come up. And if you don't have it, then you can have something, you can incorporate those challenges, but at the same time, wouldn't it be neat to have a little magic that could help you out?
Yeah.
Something like that's like Comprehend Languages, but is not as absolute and all-encompassing as a Comprehend Languages, for instance.
Right. Another thing about divinations is, like you were saying, they can reach out and basically touch someone or an entity or whatever and learn some information.
Yeah.
Let's kind of go through those divinations, like the augury and divination, like that. Like, what do you like and what are your problems, if any? If any.
So, like, the thing with divinations is that they run into a very real and insurmountable problem in that the dungeon master is not omniscient. The dungeon master cannot predict the future. The dungeon master does not always know what their enemies are doing at any exact moment. They might. They should be thinking about what their enemies are doing when they're not engaged with the party. But, like, knowing exactly what they're doing when the party scries on them or uses a clairvoyance spell to scout ahead in a dungeon or something. That's the big thing that I can see, is that sometimes the players will seek out or have access to information that the dungeon master doesn't through these spells. Mm-hmm. So an example might be, the dungeon master hasn't really thought about what spell schools are prevalent in a particular magic effect. They just want the magic effect, and then the party casts Detect Magic on it, and now they're kind of like, I guess it's like this and like that. And usually when it's not thought out ahead of time, there's often some confusion there, or it's not information that is going to be immediately useful to the person detecting magic, as opposed to you've come up with a magic effect or an artifact, something, you've given it some thought. Well, what does necromantic magic look like in my world? How does it manifest to those detecting it? What information can I reveal once one of the casters comes in here and begins to sort of perceive the currents of magic and mm-hmm. what have you? You can start revealing information about that. Which if you hadn't thought ahead, then you might be caught off guard and you might not have the time needed to make sure it's useful information that you're imparting them after they've cast this spell. So it requires a bit of forethought and planning, which is what divination's about. But let's take augury, right? Second level cleric spell. Give me one of 4 possible outcomes about a course of action in the near future, right? Mm-hmm. Weal, woe, both, or none. It's one thing if you're like, I'm using this in a dungeon with clear avenues of advancement and the opportunities to sort of go outside that are limited unless the party leaves the dungeon. I can see in that case, you don't have too many variables you have to consider. You can just sort of think about, like, the party asks, if we continue on this line, will we suffer fortune or worse? You can sort of gauge that, but you can't predict how the dice are going to go. You can't predict which monster is going to pass their saves and which ones aren't. You can't predict, whether or not a player is going to have just a crap round of rolls and nothing happens. And, what should be a cakewalk turns into kind of a nail biter in terms of like a combat encounter or getting past a challenge or a trap or something. And so, like, anything that asks the dungeon master to predict the future gets a hard pass from me in many ways. And that sucks, because there's a ton of spells in here. Like, all the ones that let you contact another entity. Everything from divination to commune to contact other plane, commune with nature. Legend lore is sort of something like that. All of these are powerful spells.
Yeah.
And by the time the party gets up and is able to cast them, they have access to information and magic that could potentially alter your campaign and the way that it's going. If some crucial piece of information has been out of the party's grasp for a long time and they suddenly come upon a contact other plane or something, yeah, they got to pass an intelligence save to avoid going temporarily crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's not ideal.
Right.
At least it can be removed if you got a cleric on hand.
Sure, you can got a cleric on hand. You can have that removed. Putting them to bed for a day seems just a trick.
Give them their sippy cup and a nap.
But then you get like 5 questions truthfully answered by a planar oracle or something like that.
Yeah, it's a big risk reward.
It's a big risk reward, and so the dungeon master needs to know. With me, if I have players that I know have access to these spells and they plan on casting them, my first thing is just like, if you're going to do it, let me know. Or be prepared for me to tell you we'll have to resolve this thing later. Like, don't cast one of these spells if you hope to act on the information you want to learn immediately after casting it, right? You either need to give me time ahead of time to prepare for it, preferably with you telling me which questions you want asked. Or we cast the spell in-game and you ask your questions, then I will get back to you with the answers at an appropriate time. I might just say, like, well, the spell just lets you ask the questions. The answers arrive in their own time. Right? That might be how I do that. You don't make demands of a god. You petition a god for something, and then when they decide they are ready, they will respond, usually with an angelic messenger or something.
Yeah, you left a message on their machine.
Right.
They'll get back to you when they can.
And this is part of my overall dissatisfaction with the magic system of 5th edition. Really, not just 5th edition to pick on them, but most editions of Dungeons & Dragons, is that the magic doesn't feel very magical. It's more like superpowers. And I like a type of magic that's more uncertain, that's more unpredictable, and that operates according to its own logic as opposed to sort of like any internal consistency. And to be perfectly frank, I don't know that I've ever found that in an RPG yet. So that, might just be the fact that we have to have systems that make sense to us as the players and dungeon masters, and that, mitigates some of the mystery that you could get out of a magic system.
Yeah, and then we have to kind of abstract it from there.
Right, you got to just find your balance. So, because a lot of these divination spells are on-off switches, the heavy use of divination magic can lead to a boring game. It's sort of like the opposite problem of we don't have enough information to make a decision.
Yeah.
There's too many secrets and we have no idea how to uncover any of them. This would be a case of like, well, we just cast a spell and uncover the secrets. Like, there's no risk, there's no whatever, there's no...
Yeah.
It's at that point, it's just like, well, let's just call the campaign. Let's just not do it.
Yeah, you scry on the big bad enough, his entire routine.
Right.
Like, we're going to hit him here, but,
Yeah. The old tactic of scry and fry, not so viable anymore. Even like a first level spell like Identify can make the game more just mundane. Consider the following scenario. Your party has uncovered a hoard of treasure from a dungeon or something, a long lost tomb or something like that. Several items in there, they are able to kind of just sort of take a look at and figure like, oh, this sword that we uncovered from the long lost tomb that has no rust on it, that's like immaculate and just a little bit of dust that we wiped off and looks brand new. Probably a magic sword. Is it still super sharp? Then it's probably a kind of magic sword, but maybe there's like jewelry and other things that the party knows is magical. They can sort of feel it. Maybe they detected it. And now they have to kind of figure out what they do. That either involves experimentation with the various items that they have, or visiting an NPC that can identify for them. This was the way older editions of D&D were played before the identify spell, in which, like, if you uncovered a magic item, like, you just have to use it till you figure out what it does, or you have to find someone in the game that can identify it.
Yeah.
And it created an adventure out of getting magic items that you're like, well, I don't know what these do. Well, now we have to experiment with them in the safest way possible. Or we need to find someone, and that's a journey, and that's an adventure, and it's a chance for failure, and then you get there, and, like, they're not just going to do this for free. What do they want from you? And so all of these things build on each other to create a campaign, and if you have a single spell, or in the case of 5th edition, a short rest, that lets you identify what the properties of a magic item are, then all of that potential for adventure is negated. It's one of those things that I waffle back and forth on. Sometimes I like to lean into the way that Dungeons & Dragons magic does negate challenges completely. And then there are other times when I sort of, like, get bored with it and you know, want a game that has magic that's less absolute and less, like, it always works. This is true about a lot of magic, but to me, divinations are where it comes to the most to the fore, because a lot of this magic is magic that's done in downtime, or when there's not a lot of interesting things going on. It's like, oh, I cast this spell, here's what you find out. And it's an opportunity, if you want, to make a game out of that interaction and, like, bring in the sort of the role playing into it and the tension and all those other things.
What are some of your kind of high points of the divination school? What are the spells when you look at, you're just like, yeah, that screams divination to me, and I like how it interacts with the world?
I like legend lore as a top one. To me, legend lore is like it's like DM backstory unlocked. You know, you achievement.
Yeah, you cast a spell that basically creates a documentary over that item. Ken Burns comes
Yes,
in.
you got your Ken Burns documentary for it. I like legend lore because of that, because it allows players access to that deep backstory that you might have prepared, in particular if it's like stuff that they have, like magic items or artifacts or something that's of great significance to the campaign. It's an avenue for getting that information to the players. And to me, it's like, it sort of screams divination. You have this object and you study and establish a magical connection with its past. And I'm fuzzy right now on what the penalties are for 5th edition level lore, legend lore, but like in times past, if you cast it, it was disorienting and everything. There used to be a higher level version of it called Vision. It gave you all that information, but just instantaneously. Otherwise you'd be like knocked out or phased or stunned or something. Contact Other Plane is one, you know, the image of a wizard in sort of like a summoning circle that focuses their magic, meditating, casting their consciousness out into the planes, seeking some sort of planar oracle or entity or something that they can petition for information, risk their psyche or their personality being changed or something like that. If I was going to change Contact Other Plane from 5th edition, I wouldn't have this saving throw to avoid insanity. It would be saving throw to avoid some sort of planar flaw. Like, I would change their personality or give them a new flaw or ideal or something. Like, maybe come up with a table of custom ones that relate just to this spell. So it's like casting your mind out into the cosmic void to whatever's out there answering back. An older version of the spell, you didn't get to pick. It was just whatever's out there that could answer back. And they might not know. It might not be in their sphere of expertise, or they might be lying to you.
Yeah, they might just go crazy just by talking to them.
Right. I've had a villain in a 3rd edition campaign who used a series of simulacra and Rary's telepathic bond. The simulacra were always casting Contact Other Plane from scrolls and then feeding that information back to the villain. And so it was things like, am I going to die this week? Am I going to die on Monday? Am I going to die on Tuesday? Am I going to die by magic? Am I going to die by a sword? Is it in the morning? You know, it's all yes or no spells. So you just start, because they're, in this case, I arranged it so they had unlimited castings. What's the movie, Minority Report, with like the 3 kids in the pool that do the...
Just constantly casting into the future.
And then relaying that information telepathically to their to the archmage.
Just imagine him going to like social events and like, should I talk to that person? Should I talk to that person?
Exactly.
Does that person bear ill will towards me?
Yeah, exactly. Although in this case, it wouldn't be the actual person that's there. It would be another simulacra that's in the state. The real wizard does not do anything that would directly harm them.
Never touches.
They are somewhere else. That was how I used it, kind of as a villain there. I don't know if that's like by the rules legit in 5th edition. definition, but you know, it's a fun way to kind of think about using those spells on a campaign scale. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's any way to make True Strike not really suck?
I
mean, it's like it's
yeah.
the spell. Like you look at it, and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you really think about it, and you're like,
No, I'd make it.
it's
I'd
great
make,
for an aim action.
Yeah, I'd make it
about
a bonus action, probably a bonus action spell. Although there might be people who are like, you know, you would always take that or whatever. You know, it's like, oh, okay, like it's fucking advantage. You know, you know, I suppose like having it on demand as a you know a cantrip, a bonus action cantrip is maybe extreme. Maybe you do it like the Green Flame Blade and Booming Blade, where it's like, as part of this spell, make an attack action. Make a ranged or melee attack, and with advantage. You know?
See, I like that better because even for a fighter who wants to take it, once they get 2 attacks,
It's not going to be worth it.
you're not going to be worth it. I mean, you got the 1 attack at advantage, or you have 2 attacks where you could crit both of them.
Right. Yeah, especially if it's like, say, a high elf fighter and they just have 1 cantrip or something like that.
Yeah.
And an Eldritch Knight is probably the only kind of archetype, maybe a Valor Bard, whichever one that gets to like cantrip and then an attack.
Yeah, I mean that's the Warcaster.
I can see that being maybe, but there's probably better uses if you're worried about like raw numbers or things like that. If it was a bonus action, you know, that would be interesting. I don't know. Like if it was if you made an attack as part of the casting of it, then I can see like every rogue trying to get a hold of True Strike.
Yeah.
Because they're only making that 1 attack anyway. It might as well be with disadvantage from the spell. So.
Right. But with divination, it really is a tale of 2 cantrips because, like guidance,
That is guidance, right?
it's guidance. Like you do not. I mean, if you can take that, you probably should because
Yeah.
that's a spell that you can use.
You just use
all
whenever.
day.
You know, it's got concentration, so it's a spell that you don't want to just, you don't want to be careful when you cast it. But if you're a cleric, or I forget who all can take it, like clerics, bards, druids, maybe not bards.
Bards technically could.
Yeah, they could.
wanted.
That's true. If they really want it. You know, it applies to skills. It's mostly used outside of combat, although you can use it for initiative rolls if you really want. In terms of a divination type spell, it points towards another use for divination magic that really only guidance is really the only one that's in like the main player's handbook. There's some DM's Guild products that really expand on that. Elminster's Guide to Divination is one of a series of products. The Elminster's Guide to Magic, and then they do, I guess, each of the schools. And it's got a cantrip there called Adept Skill, self-only, and it's like guidance, except every time your proficiency raises, the die type increases. So that it's just you, but 3 levels of proficiency, now rolling a d6 instead of a d4. You know, 4 levels of proficiency, now I'm up to a d8. And it goes all the way up to d12, so that you're adding an extra d12 to your rolls that you're already proficient in. If you're not proficient, it stays at d4. It's a spell that I really like, a cantrip that I really like for diviners, because otherwise wizards have this weird kind of, they're not the best at arcana. Right? Like, and that bothers me in 5th edition. It bothers me that wizards are not the best at arcana.
The fact that you can have like a rogue take it and then get expertise in it.
It gets under my skin. In the same way that like rangers are not necessarily the best at survival. You know, expertise as a skill has its benefits and drawbacks, but it is kind of one of those things where I sort of think every class should have a skill they have expertise in, whether it's like athletics for barbarians and fighters. But I really think it's like for wizards, it should be, you know, arcana, the skill which governs the use of magic and the knowledge of magic kind of thing.
Yeah, they should know everything there is to know.
But Elminster's Guide to Magic, if you are looking for a more varied and diverse section of divination spells to sort of like fill out your diviner, you might check it out. It's got a lot of spells that like let you see into other planes, spells which deal with not just vision but also hearing and touch and taste, spells that let you sense through other people's senses, as well as a lot of other cool things.
Like ally sense instead of beast sense.
Ally sense instead of beast sense. It's got a spell that basically takes the diviner's portent ability and just gives it to anyone who can cast that spell. They only get one roll they can replace, but it's, if you like that ability, it's there for you.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
It's pretty fun.
seeing you and Huel is one of the reasons why I basically made a diviner in Warhammer. The Blue College, like having that ability to second port in Avamul where I can have 2 rerolls in the next hour. But what I love about that is like I can just cast that all freaking day.
Right. Yeah. Pruitt's talking about his Warhammer character, which has a very different magic system than 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. But those are some of the things that I like about divination. There's other stuff. Commune with nature is one that I like because it's like Swamp Thing, right? You're connecting with the green, the parliament of trees.
Gotta eat some mushrooms off of his back and take a trip.
Right. Telepathic Bond is a good spell if you've got a lot of table talk or you have a dungeon master who does not like table talk or cross talk or things like that. Well, we're all connected telepathically, so it doesn't matter. We just think. We communicate at the speed of thought with each other.
Or if you have a party, because I can't recall the exact range on it once you have it cast, but
pretty sure it's planar.
It's planar. So
pretty sure.
So a party that splits up a lot, or if you have a rogue that loves to scout ahead.
Right.
I mean that kind of thing. Like once they're telepathically bonded, he's sneaking up there. He's like, oh, there's 5 guys. Get up here.
Get up here. Yeah.
And there's no more like, all right, I go back to the party.
Right.
I go back to the group.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like he sneaks forward. Okay, come up 50 feet.
Yeah.
Sneaks forward again. All right, come up 50 feet.
Come up 50 feet. Things like that are interesting. Any of the ones that let you extend your senses beyond a certain range, clairvoyance, scry, things like that, use of a crystal ball. Those require the dungeon master to have some idea of what their enemies might be doing when they're not directly engaged with the party. If it were me, I'd come up with a little D6 table that's just like, what are they doing right now? If I don't already know. And a lot of times I already know because it's a lot of what I do in my prep is just to think about what the villains are up to. You just roll a quick D6 table, this is what the enemies are doing. And that way you don't necessarily have to give it too much thought or worry too much about it, and you've got a little tool handy that lets you just like make a quick decision and move on from there.
A couple questions about the higher level divination spells. First off, what the hell happened after 6th level? Did anybody see that coming?
Right.
Then there's Foresight.
Then there's Foresight, 9th level spell, Foresight.
Which is, if you have any kind of Gish character.
It's really good for a Gish type character. Yeah, it's 9th level, so it's a long way to get there.
It's a long way to get there, but if you ever do.
Yeah, it's one of the more non-concentration 8-hour, you have advantage on everything, disadvantage to attack you, can't be surprised. To me, it kind of feels weak for a 9th level spell, as useful as it is for those kinds of...
Well, that's why I said get, because for like any melee fighting type character, somebody's going to be in the shit, getting attacked a lot, doing a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
It really doesn't get any better than that.
I mean, you're really limited in Foresight then to, I think... Blade Locks can get Foresight.
Blade Singer.
Blade Singer can get Foresight. I'm not sure if Foresight's on the Sorcerer list. This would be something that a more dedicated and astute YouTuber would have prepared for. But you're dealing with like Blade Singers and Blade Locks, so we're not talking about like, these are sort of squishy characters to begin with, and I'm quite personally, I'm of the opinion that if you're in melee as a Blade Singer, you're doing something wrong. That you should be using your considerable defensive powers to just be a badass wizard, as opposed to swinging a mere sword. But it's available if you're the kind of Blade Singer who likes to swing a sword. So yeah, I like Foresight. It's really a cool spell. I use it a lot of times. For just like enemies, is just like I want them to have like a neat buff or something like that. Then like they acquired Foresight somehow.
Let's look into our crystal ball at the end of all things.
The end
and
of
how
all
how does that
things.
look with a diviner? Like we're talking like prophecies, omens. Like how does a DM use that?
Sort of like
effectively?
less in the realm of like specific spells for divination, and more just like the glimpsing of the future and the whatever. So I've seen a lot of different systems try this out, and some of them go the Dungeons and Dragons route and ask the DM to predict the future, and others of them go around of like, well, you've got whatever prophecy that you have. At any time the party is engaged in an activity that's related to that prophecy, maybe there's a bonus that comes with it, or a buff, or some kind of thing that ensures that it's more likely that the prophecy's outcome will come true than not. And a reverse example of this is Warhammer 2nd Edition has a thing called Dooms. It's an option that you roll up when you create your character that's like, somewhere along the line before play, the player has a prophecy told of their death. And they're usually very elaborate. It's things like you will be killed by a trusted friend with a dagger or something like that. They're usually very specific and very elaborate. And so any time that the player is in a situation or a scenario or whatever where that might come true, they face severe penalties. to like they have their critical hits against them increased. They have a lot of bad things that can kind of happen to them if they are in a situation that aligns with their doom. And of course, Dungeon Masters can introduce prophecies and omens and portents and signs and all sorts of things into their game. I do like the sort of just hanging bonus that comes that sort of comes with a generic prophecy of some kind. Like you have your fortune read, and this is what you get, and this is where you find it. I think incorporating those things, incorporating oracles and prophets and seers and things like that is really fun in your games, and you can do a lot of things that are outside of the spell system with those NPCs. If you're the Dungeon Master, so you can just say like, yeah, they don't work like a regular diviner. They work the way I want them to work. You now have something that's in the game that can be more mysterious, a bit more mystical, and deliver prophecies and the like to the players, and then when they do, the players can sort of figure those things out, see how they work. There's something in the game that would lock an outcome in place, right? That would say like, this thing is always going to happen. I try to stay away from things like that and try to stay away from prophecies and omens that suggest a concrete outcome to something, because you cannot predict how things are going to go, and I do not want to sort of like manipulate events to ensure that a prophecy that I created comes true. I don't want to do that in the game. So I will give prophecies that are vague, prophecies that don't relate to outcomes, but instead relate to like processes or troubles or things like that. And then by keeping them vague enough, the party's open to interpreting them. A lot of times the players will make the vagueness of the prophecy fit the events at the table anyway, and do a lot of the hard work for you.
Right.
By,
Well, it is fun whenever you get something like a Thor Ragnarok,
right.
where they try to prevent something the entire time and realize, no, they're the ones that's supposed to be like enacting it.
Yeah.
If it can work out like that, it is a lot of fun.
Maybe they got that. They're just fucking around.
It's just your freaking street performing monkey. Just clap and dance. It's time for puns.
Now make
a pun. I can't.
think of a pun.
Okay.
I find that I want to eat these dice because they look like Jolly Ranchers.
Oh yeah.
So I've never bought like just straight up one colored like this, but I want a set of Jolly Rancher dice that I can roll, and when they anger me, I will then, well, guess what?
So if you haven't already figured out, just by the title of this video, the trick I'm going to be showing you is really, really cool, and it's going to work every single time. So this is basically what it looks like. We're going to have a spectator say stop whenever they want. In this case, I'm going to have you guys say stop, but since you're not here, I'll do it. But anyways, wherever we say stop, I'm going to be telling you right now the card you're going to land on is the 9 of diamonds. So go ahead, you can say stop wherever you want. We can go through the deck, and you can do this with your own spectator too. You can just keep going through until you absolutely want them, or once they want to say stop. So let's say they were to say stop right here. Like I said, it does not matter. It's a completely random card. This is the card we happen to stop at, guys, and this card happens to be the 9 of diamonds, just like that. So this is the trick. It's going to work every single time, and if you want to do it, don't forget to stick around for the tutorial. Alright, so here's how the trick is going to work. So as you guys saw, it was really, really simple. It really only took me about like 30 seconds to actually do the trick, and the setup is just as simple. So what you want to do is take a group of cards, maybe like this much or so, really not a lot, but just a little bit like this, and you flip that over so the deck is going to look just like this, and you're not going to be able to show the spectators what's going on. So let's say this is the top half of the deck with most of the face down cards. When you flip the deck over, this is going to be the side with only a couple face down cards on top, and this card here is going to be your prediction. So in this case we have the 8 of diamonds, and you can write this down. You can tell the spectator verbally that they're gonna stop you at the 8 of diamonds or whatever, but like I said, whatever you want to do to make the effect a little bit more magical, I guess you can kind of do it any way you'd like, but I just showed you guys like the bare bones thing in the performance. So you're going to flip the deck over. The card that they're going to stop at is the 8 of diamonds. So you can have them literally say stop wherever they want to, and I'm telling you, they're not going to have you go through the entire deck. So let's just say they keep going, they can say stop wherever they want, and you want to make sure the cards are kind of like messy on the table, because that is going to give you an excuse to square up the cards. I'll show you what I mean. You're going to go ahead and keep going, and let's say they were to say stop, and now from here what you do is you can misdirect the spectators, and you're going to tell them they could have stopped you anywhere they wanted to in the deck, and as you're talking to them, all you have to do is flip your left hand over real casually and square up this packet of cards, and that gives you the reason or the opportunity to flip over this deck unnoticed. So you put this on the table and you say, look, the next card is going to be the 8 of diamonds. You can flip this over and show that to them, and this is pretty much the end of the trick. And the reason why I flipped over more cards than I really needed to is just so if the spectators did see a little bit of flash here, they can only see the face down cards anyway. So this is a trick, guys. Hope you guys like it, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, guys, thanks.
What's up guys, Vian here, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the card to pocket trick. Have a look at this performance that I just did. Alright, so the first thing I do is I have someone take any card they want. In this case they take the Queen of Clubs, and I'm just going to rub it against my leg like this. Alright, I have to try that again. Check this out, and it disappears just like that. But here's the crazy thing, have a look, watch. If I turn around you'll see that it's actually in my back pocket, just like that. Pretty cool trick, huh? And this is how it's done. It uses a classic of magic that's called the elephant technique, which is essentially you have someone take a card, they remember it, they put it back in the deck, and you say, hey look, an elephant. And then when they look away, you secretly take the card from the middle of the deck and you put it into your back pocket. Guys, stop. I'm kidding. I know some of you stopped watching this video and disliked. Shame on you, because there is a way to do it, and I'm going to teach you now. Alright, so this is how it's done. You have an extra card in your pocket from the start. It's a duplicate, the King of Diamonds. So you need a King of Diamonds from another deck, which goes into your back pocket. And then you need this King of Diamonds on the bottom of the deck, because we're going to force them to pick this one. Now, although the method seems simple, guys, remember, they think they could have picked any card, so it's going to blow their minds. So how do we make them pick the King of Diamonds? Well, it's very simple. All you do is this force right here. So you just hold the cards like this with these 2 fingers and thumb, and you just pull off cards from the top. And wherever they say stop, it's going to be the same one every time. You can then just snap your fingers and show that the card has gone to your back pocket like this. Or you can do it the way I did, which was actually vanishing this card. You can do this by doing the rubber dub, which is you just rub the card against your pants and you can make it disappear. Now the way you do this is you rub it on your pants for the first time to give them that visual, and on the second time you're actually going to push the card in with your thumb as you come down with your hand, but you have to practice that to make it look really good. So once the card is gone, you can literally just say watch, it goes right here to the back pocket like that. Alright, so this is the more advanced version, which you don't need a duplicate for. Most magicians prefer this one. You can do this with any deck of cards. It's just going to take a little sleight of hand. So you have them take a card, let's say the 10 of clubs, but it can be any card at all. Then you just snap and you show them that in your back pocket there's one card. You can take that out and it is in fact the 10 of clubs. What's cool about this one is the card can even be signed because it is the same card coming out of your pocket that they picked. Now to do this you need to know a classic move in Magic which is called palming, where you essentially put a card into your hand and just put it into your pocket. Now that sounds very stupid, but if you do this correctly, it is so deceptive. So all you need to do is to control the card to the top of the deck. The way I do that is I keep my pinky right here, put the rest of the cards on top like this. So I have a little break there and then I can literally just cut it to the top, where you can do 2 cuts like that and take that last half and just put it on top. Now I'm gonna do the secret pole move. Now obviously misdirection does help here. You don't want them to just look straight onto the deck. But if you can do this well enough, they can as well, but try not to have them look at the deck.
Why are you looking at me like that?
So while you ask them like what was your card and you look them in the eyes, basically you're gonna palm the top card off. And the way you do this is you push with your pinky like this and your other fingers just to the front, and the card kind of shoots up into your palm and you bend. You're gonna have to practice this move to make it look good, but it should look something like this. And then you can just take the card out of your pocket like that. So guys, there you go. I hope you like that trick. It's super awesome. You have to just choose which one you prefer. Both of them have their upside. I mean, the one of the duplicates is cool because you can even put a card into someone else's pocket ahead of time, like while their jacket might be hanging over a chair or something. The other one is cool because you can do that anytime, anywhere with a signed card. So practice that before you do it. I think this is a pretty cool trick. And let me know what else you guys want to see on YouTube. And I can do some more videos for you. I'm planning on doing a lot more vlogs showing you what I'm doing around the country once the whole lockdown comes to an end. And then yeah, let me know how you guys are keeping yourself busy and we will do more videos. I promise you, I'm gonna post a new tutorial, or a new video at least, every single day. And I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow or whenever.
This is the kind of trick I really love to share here on my YouTube channel, because it is so simple and it is so direct and the magic's so clear. And after watching me perform it and then teach some of the secrets around it, you'll be able to immediately do it and have fun with it. It is a bulletproof trick. No fuss, no muss, lots of magic. You start. Card trick, you say, look, I'm going to go through the cards. And at some point, whenever you feel like it, I want you to say stop. You're going to essentially be asking me to cut the cards wherever you want, whenever you want. You can go through the cards. They eventually call stop. You say, fine. There, you're sure? You want me to go one more? And they say, sure, one more. They really can stop wherever they want. You say, I'm going to give you a peek at the card you stop me at. I don't want to see it. I'm going to give you a little peek at the card where you stop me at. I'm going to leave the card in the very middle of the pack and put the cards away inside the card case. Okay? We'll get back to those in a moment. Concentrate on your card. Remember, I went through, you called stop wherever you wanted. You're thinking of one playing card. Fine. Very, very direct. No fuss, no muss. No suspicious moves. You say you reach in your pocket, or you can pull it off the table, whatever the case may be. So you got a rubber band. This is the amazing vanishing rubber band. So watch it very carefully. I'm going to warm it up. You're going to see the band vanish into thin air. 3, 2, 1. The rubber band is gone. Thank you so much. Pretty amazing, huh? Now, most people have seen rubber bands vanish like that before. But the cool thing is you say to the person who's maybe holding the card case, or maybe it's right here on top of it, you say, do me a favor. You're thinking of a card, right? Open up the card case. They go over. They open up the card case. You say, take out the cards. They take out the cards. And everybody sees impossibly in the middle of the deck is the rubber band. And the rubber band, they spread through the cards. Okay, I'm just going to cut to it, but they can spread to it. There's no gimmicks, no fuss, no muss, nothing funky. Only one card in the entire pack has a rubber band on it. And it is the one card they were thinking of. And there's no duplicate ace of diamonds. You only use one ace of diamonds the entire time. So that is pure magic. It is simple. It is magical. It happens inside the card case while they're holding it around. You can have it in full view, really play it up as an impossible thing. The vanish of the rubber band is cool. And people will often go looking for a second rubber band and all that kind of thing. So a little bit of humor there and all that. So I'm going to reveal the secrets to all that right now. It is straight up, it is cool, it's great for bars and real casual, and as you can see too, it can work on Zoom because it's a very fair selection. You can keep the deck in the hole, so it's cool for FaceTime and Zoom as well. I'm going to reveal that secret in just a moment. I'm also going to have the question of the week. This question, this week I'm going to be giving away one of 12, or I should say 12, of my envelope gimmicks. Envelope is a very cool envelope, okay, with a big window on it. With it, you can do prediction tricks, you can do forces, a whole bunch of things. As always, you can check it out at sankeymagic.com. Omnilope, O-M-N-I, lope, like antelope, only quite different. A trick with an antelope, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm just going to say that right now. Here's the question of the week, though, for your chance to win. If you had supernatural powers and you could do any trick with a rubber band, any trick you can imagine, no matter how funny or strange or weird or impossible or shocking or not PC, politically incorrect, whatever it is, okay? Just don't be too rude. If you could do any trick with a rubber band, you had supernatural powers, what would it be? Leave a comment down below. Leave that comment down below, and that'll automatically enter you in the contest to win one of 12 prizes. 12, going to be giving away 12 Omnilopes, so leave your comment down below. Okay, on this video in just a moment, a couple of minutes in fact, I'm going to be also announcing the winners of the last contest for my trick called Immortal. So all 12 winners, they're right here. Oh, I'm going to announce them in a moment, okay? Don't rush me, don't rush. But let's jump into the secrets of this cool trick. So this is the Hindu Force, okay? The Hindu Force, I was playing around with, is the bottom card, all right? 9 of diamonds at the bottom. And you're pulling cards off the top, okay? And if they get a little messy in your left hand there, you can just turn these and tap, tap, tap. Okay, so pull it off the top and tap. Pull it off the top. I know the lights here in the studio are a little bright today. Like this, I got the windows open, a little too much light. But that's the Hindu. You're going through, they can call it, it's an old phrase, Hindu. I find it vaguely offensive. But anyway, you're going through here like this. That's the traditional name from many, many years ago. Pulling off the top, and whenever they want it, I like the line. You're going to say stop. You're going to tell me where to stop, almost where to cut the cards. Just kind of drop that in there, because it's true they do. Now, I was playing around with it one day, and I realized that they can call stop. As soon as they call stop, normally you can flash the 9 of spades. So, for example, Jack of clubs. Just call stop whenever you want. They call stop. You say, go ahead, take a look at that card. Very deceptive force, okay? It's the bottom card, but there's something that really flows in that final boom. It's very deceptive, okay? But I was playing with it one day, and I realized, wait a second here. I never show the edge of the packet. I realized what I could do was take a card like the Jack, King of Hearts. I could put a rubber band around it, okay? Put it not quite in the middle, maybe 2/3 the way down, okay? If I have that on the bottom, because of my grip, I can hide the rubber band, okay? So I can, in fact, pull them off, and I realize, wait a second, but what I can't do is this. I can't then say this, okay? But very casually, since I'm talking about cutting the cards, they can call stop wherever they want. I can move this forward, which really sells the idea that it was the middle card, not the bottom card, and give a quick flash. And still never reveal the rubber band or the gap or anything. So that's how you do it. It starts rubber banded here, okay? The rubber band's there. It could be in your card case. You can take them out. Probably easier, though, is to have this card in your pocket. And then at some point, you're doing some card tricks, deck is shuffled, examined. Put these in your pocket directly on top of this. And this could be your final closing trick. It's very strong. Take the cards out, feel the rubber band, go through like this. They call stop. Push this forward, give them a flash here. And I love this part. You square. Now, you do not want to flash this, so you should now be turning the cards towards yourself, minimizing the chance of flashing that, okay? And squaring. But look how fair that is. There's the king in the middle, and you leave it in the middle. They say you take the cards and put them in the card case and close up. So it really looks like the middle card. Square up the card's hand and they hold. Again, my favorite line, you know. They think the trick's about to start. Oh, no, it's quite done. It's quite done. The one card they're thinking of. They didn't even take it out of the pack. They just basically took a peek at a card. It's going to have a rubber band appear on. Really cool magic. Now, as for the rubber band vanish, okay? Really like this part here, the rubber band vanish. Before I show you the secrets of the vanish, because I don't, if you thought I flicked it away there, you're wrong, okay? I didn't, okay? I secretly controlled it. Before I tell you that, though, here are the 12 winners. if I say your name now, it means you won one of my immortal tricks. It's a very cool trick involving a Dracula card and a rubber band thing. Here, the winners of Immortal are Joanne Louis. Oh my God, I'm sweating. Joanne Luosteranen. Okay, Joanne Luosteranen. Dinker Siegel. That's what his wife said. Okay, Dinker Siegel. Pokey54. Dinker, Pokey. I don't like this theme. The Average Bear. That's a cool name. Abraham Knives. Nieves. Knives. Sergio Goninho. Rascal Lartet. Rascal Lartet. Ray with an E. Tanner. Ray Tanner. Jordan Fern. Firn. Okay, boom. I just hit it hard, really planted there. But Bomber King Adam is the next one. Bomber King Adam. Fernando Young. Okay. His name came to me in a dream. Fernando Young. And Ashley Kirk. Kirk. Ashley Kirk. U12 won. Congratulations. Send an email to my team. It's at contact@sankymagic.com. Email them. Give me your real name, your YouTube name, whatever, your shipping address, and they will send out one of the immortals to you. Congratulations. Okay, let's wrap this up over here. So they've got this, the thought of card, this. Now, there's many ways to vanish a rubber band, of course. One way you could do it is you could lap it, right? You could pretend to take it in one hand, put it in the other, and secretly lap it. You could just do a false transfer here, where you got the rubber band here and apparently put it in that hand, but you got it over here. Now, what's neat about this is as soon as you make it vanish, you could have the spectator hold it between their hands, right? You could take the rubber band, do a false transfer, and against the back of the spectator's hand, kind of this, okay? This also is nice on Zoom, right? Because on Zoom, I can go through the cards, you call stop, I show it to you, put them in the card case like this. So the whole thing has a real fairness about it, even if they're not there, because they called stop, you show them the card, everything stayed on camera, the impossibility, right? So lots of ways to vanish this. I use the Sure Shot Vanish, this technique I came up with many years ago, where it really looks like you take a rubber band and boom. I mean, look at that. It looks like it just goes, but I've actually got it here. Here's the technique. It's not hard. We'll do it slowly here. Going up and down. Then my middle finger is going to come in. I go up and down, and I'm going to pull. Basically, the middle finger is going to curl tightly around the rubber band, okay? So we go up and down, a little visual misdirection. Then going here, okay, so I'm holding it, I've still got it here the whole time, but I'm pulling it through the crack in the middle finger, or the first little phalange, the joint there, like this, and then coming up, okay? So I want it looking like I want it to look basically like I got one end here and the other end there, but it's actually looped. It's actually trapped in there, pulled up here between the thumb and finger, okay? So when I let it go and my thumb moves forward and my eyes follow it, okay? All these little details really, and there's a nice snap, add to the illusion of this, boom, okay? So firing away makes it look like a joke. Puts a little time lapse here. You could fire directly at their hand, boom, boom, like this, but then there's more heat on this hand. If you really just apparently fired away, boom, like this, now everybody goes there. This, you put your hands in your pockets, or once they remove the cards from the card case, take the card case back. Take it, put it in your pocket, get rid of the rubber band, right? You're all clean, you're all good like this. Then they go through, and boy, they spread through. You can have them spread them down like this on the table, face down, or you could have them name the card, only after you make it vanish, go ahead and name the card. That was the card you had in mind, okay, and then go through. Lots of ways to present it. And that's really a great way to bring your personality to these tricks. With these card tricks where a card is revealed, is how do you want to reveal it? There's so many different ways. In which order, with word, they could draw a picture, they could whisper it to a friend, all these kinds of things. There's stuff you can do on FaceTime and Zoom, etc., etc. So lots of examples there. There you have it. Do not forget to leave a comment down below. Slurp. Leave a comment down below, please. Tell me, the envelope question, your chance to win envelope. If you had supernatural powers and you could do any trick, but you had to use a rubber band, what strange, bizarre, crazy trick would you do? Leave that comment down below. Please subscribe, to the channel, okay? Click that like button. I mean, this is a cool trick. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I hope to see you here really soon. Keep your distance. Stay safe. We are all going to get through this together. And we're never going to go back to the way the world was, but we are going to move forward, I think, to a world without COVID. And sooner than later. It's going to be awesome. Thank you.
Hey guys, Vian here, and today I'm going to teach you how to take a completely mixed up Rubik's Cube that you can mix as much as you want and then in 1 second solve it just like that. Here is how it's done. Okay, so here's how you do it. You need 4 moves like this that makes the cube look completely mixed, and then when you do those 4 moves in reverse, the cube looks solved. So I'm going to teach you how easy this is. Alright, so we have 4 secret moves to set it up. All you have to do is take the right one, turn it towards you, take the one facing you, turn it to the left, then take both these blocks and turn them to the left, and then just turn the top one to the left, and that's it. You are now set up just 4 moves away from solving this thing, and it looks completely mixed. No side is solved. So to solve it, you're basically just going to do the moves in reverse. I've designed them for your fingers to already be in the right positions. So you can show the cube to them. This is what they're going to remember, so don't worry about it getting solved because they see it completely mixed just 2 seconds away. So what I do is I turn the top one to the left, then I turn these two, as I grab the cube, I turn these 2 blocks to the right. They can see the front looks completely mixed. The reason I cover up is because I don't want to show all these solved pieces, so I'm holding it like this. They just saw it mixed, so they're still going to believe it's mixed, guys. Just cover up like that. So now once I've turned these 2 like I just showed you, I turn the one here on its own as I show it like this, just the front. I don't want them to see the whole cube anymore. So I show them like this and I just turn this one. So now they're seeing this. They see 2 colors and then this one. This is that last visual you want to give them so they remember it is mixed. And then it's just literally a throw where you pull this one up as you throw it into the air. So just to recap, you just do your setup, you show it, and as you talk about, we can mix it more, and then I just need 1 second and it's solved. You throw that into the air and it just looks crazy. So guys, from the front, it's gonna look like this. You say, I can mix up the cube as much as I want to, and I just need 1 second for it to solve, just like that. Now guys, you saw me do the behind the back solve. It's super easy, it's the same thing, same moves, you just throw it behind your back. So you do the same stuff, but then on the last move where you just have to flick it up, you just show it like this, you go behind your back and then you flick it up as you throw it into the air and catch it. You might just have to practice your catch a little. So there you go guys, you don't even need to know how to solve a Rubik's Cube to look like a Rubik's ninja. Most magicians can't solve a Rubik's Cube, did you know that? And the best part is you can do this with any Rubik's Cube. So when you're at a friend's house and they have one of these, you're ready to go. Now when you buy one, they are solved already. But if you happen to mess it up, there are tons of websites. You just have to search Rubik's Solver in Google and you'll find tons of things where you just type this in and they will tell you the fastest way to solve it. But if you want to go a little more pro, you can just learn how to solve one of these. It's not that hard, although we are all told how difficult it is. I can solve one of these, guys. It took me like 2 hours to learn, and now every time I mess up, I can do it. Or when I see a mixed up Rubik's Cube at someone's house, I can take the thing, say, hey, time me, and I do it in like 1.5 minutes. And then when it's done, I can say, of course, that's the long way if I want to do it fast. Then I do the stuff that I just showed you, and that like blows the roof off the place. So there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn some more magic, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like. It motivates me to make a lot more videos. And also comment and I will reply to as many of you as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Ooh, I thought it'd be me and you. Ooh, I guess it wasn't true.
This video is brought to you by Paperlike, the iPad screen protector that makes writing or drawing on an iPad feel just like paper. Check out the links in the description down below to learn more. What is up guys, Karma Medic here and welcome back to another dose. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Nasser and I'm now a third year medical student studying at King's College London, and I've used my iPad pretty much every single day since the day that I bought it. I absolutely love it, it's light, it's lightning fast and does everything that I need it to. Now I use the iPad primarily as a note-taking device in this position here, using Notability to take notes in my medical school lectures. I've wanted a keyboard for the longest time. I've wanted one so bad, but there was never anything good enough on the market, and so I waited. And so today, that wait is finally over. Things we don't need. So, this is it. This is the new Apple Magic Keyboard. So in today's video, I'm going to show you and demonstrate to you everything you need to know about the Apple Magic Keyboard so that you can decide if you want to purchase one for yourself. The first thing that I want to comment on is this magnetic snapping into place. It is very sturdy. I wouldn't be worried about my iPad falling out or anything, even with a lot of shaking. The second thing that I noticed is that this is decently heavy. It's not quite as light as the iPad by itself or the iPad in the Smart Folio case that I had before. In fact, the case feels almost as heavy as the iPad itself. I'd say the iPad is still a little bit heavier in weight, but I'd say they're pretty close. And just for comparison, I've got my 13-inch MacBook Pro over here, and comparing the two, the MacBook Pro is definitely heavier, but not by much. They're fairly similar if I'm honest. As far as the thickness of the iPad with this new keyboard, in case anyone is wondering, now the keyboard itself has two hinges on it. There's the main one down at the bottom over here, which also has a convenient USB-C pass-through in order to charge the device while it's in the keyboard case. And then at the top, there's a second hinge which allows you to change the iPad to different viewing angles. Now let's move on to talking about every aspect of this thing. All right, let's start by talking about the keyboard. So I'm going to open up my note-taking app of choice, Notability. Wow, it feels so strange using a keyboard and trackpad on my iPad. All right, I'm going to select the text box tool and start writing. Hi, my name is Nasser and I'm studying for the USMLE exam. Okay, right off the bat, that feels very, very good. Definitely better than this keyboard that I've been using for the last year and a half or so. In comparison to that keyboard, the travel of the keys is a lot deeper. They feel almost more mushy, like they're a bit softer and have more padding. These keys over here are a lot more hard and clicky. The keyboard is of a normal size, so I don't feel like my hands are cramped close together or anything like that. In fact, I think they're about the same distribution as this one over here. Yeah, it's the exact same size as my normal keyboard. All right, after having typed over there for a little bit, I can confirm that my fingers don't hit the iPad when I'm typing, and if my fingers don't hit the iPad, well then yours probably won't either. I also want to make the comment that the keyboard itself is not flimsy at all. I've also noticed that the keyboard is actually quieter than the other one which I've been using. I'll let you guys decide for yourself. All right, and now the same sentence typed on my old keyboard. Alright, now let's move on to talk about the comfort of this keyboard case on the iPad in different situations. So sitting down at a desk like this, I can definitely say that the viewing angles are more than enough, even for someone like me who's quite tall and might need the iPad tilted back as far as it possibly goes, which is something that I cannot say about the previous keyboard for the iPad. Those viewing angles were always a bit too shallow, something like this, and they never provided me with enough of a tilt to feel comfortable when sitting down and typing. Now, as far as sitting down on a chair goes, maybe you're a student in a large lecture hall and you don't have anywhere to set your iPad down. I personally own the 12.9-inch iPad, and I will say it's definitely big enough to put down on your lap and not feel that you have to put your knees really close together in order to prevent it from falling down through the gap. However, what I will comment on is that the iPad is definitely top heavy. And what I mean by that is that the majority of the weight of the iPad is over here. It's where the screen is, not down here where the keyboard is, as you would see in a traditional laptop. Now, when you're sitting down on a flat surface like a table, this isn't as much of a problem. You'll see that I have to push the iPad quite far back before it starts to fall. Oh! Almost. Now, when you have the iPad on your lap, you're naturally in a slightly more downwards bent position, and so it's a little bit easier to reach that point where the iPad can start tipping backwards. But Apple have clearly done some magic design with the balancing over here. It's not easy to get to that position, but it's an accident that could happen. If you're sitting down on a couch, this isn't really something that you need to worry about. It's a lot more stable and your iPad isn't going to go anywhere. Laying down in bed, if I'm quite honest, I never use my iPad like this. It's mostly a productivity machine for me. For the few times that I've used my iPad in bed, it's been quite uncomfortable because there's nothing to rest it against, there's nothing to hold it in place. I kind of just have to hold it like this the whole time. So now that I have this case, I imagine I'm going to be using it a lot more because I can angle it however I want. I can put it off to the side, and it's just so much easier to use. Alright, now let's move on to talk about the actual trackpad, and this is probably what I'm most excited about. Being able to move through the iPad pages using these gestures and go up halfway to pull up the multitasking, switching between apps. I mean, this is just so great. I can't wait to incorporate using all of these gestures into my workflow and just make using my iPad that much more of an efficient and pleasant experience. The trackpad itself feels very good. It slides around smoothly. The cursor also flows very well on the screen, pretty much exactly what you would expect from the normal Apple trackpads. Of course, the trackpad on the iPad is much smaller, but honestly, I haven't felt it at all. I still feel like my finger has plenty of space to move around, and it's really not something that I've noticed while using the keyboard. The trackpad itself does click. I personally don't click to select things, I just tap on the touchpad, and it's good to know that you can do both over here. As you can see, when moving the cursor around the screen, it automatically clicks. It like sort of gets sucked into the next app or the next box that you might want to use, and I actually really like this. It's extremely convenient. Funnily enough, the YouTube app hasn't updated to take advantage of this feature, but I'm sure they will in the future. I find it's very smooth and intuitive. I thought it was going to be quite annoying, but not at all. Now, before I move on to talk about how the Apple Pencil integrates into this keyboard case, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Paperlike. Now, Paperlike, besides being an actual screen protector that protects your iPad from any scratches or damage that it might take, which also helps prevent those oily fingerprints from showing up on your iPad after you've been touching and using it all day, it actually makes writing or drawing on the iPad feel just like paper, which is something that I found very important in my transition from using pen and paper to going completely paperless and digital in my life. Another great thing about the Paperlike screen protector is that it adds just enough grip so that you don't feel like you're writing on a slippery slab of glass when you're taking notes on the iPad. I'm telling you, it makes it feel just that little bit more like writing on paper. It's something that I write on every single day, it's something that I use every single day, and now that I've used it, I can't imagine taking notes on my iPad without it. If you guys want to learn more about the iPad screen protector, you can check out the links in the description down below. Now, since writing on the iPad with the Apple Pencil is something that's very important to me, I want to be able to do that using this keyboard case. So let me put it back on real quick. Now, the first thing that I'm very happy to see is that there's a place to keep my Apple Pencil. That's great. But something very important to know is how easy and comfortable is it to write in this position? Because in an ideal world, I could go from writing a script or a document or an essay using the keyboard and then also using the pencil to write handwritten notes. That would be perfect. If I move this as close to me as possible and I tilt it as far back as possible and start writing, not gonna lie, this definitely is not convenient, which is actually what I expected having looked at this keyboard online and everything like that, but I was kind of hoping that I could tilt this in a way or put it in a position that would make it useful for writing. Oh. Can I press down? Okay, not so much. Okay, so this position very much mimics the writing position that I had using the Smart Folio case, which was something like this. Very similar, right? All right, now if I start writing, let's see what happens. All right, so I very quickly discovered that if you write on the top half of the screen, the weight of your hand is enough to push the keyboard down and out of that convenient writing position. However, if I can just hold it in place, I think it will stay, no? If I place my hand over here, which is where I would naturally rest my hand anyway when sitting down and taking notes with my iPad, I can write towards the top of the screen and it doesn't collapse. So clearly the keyboard case wasn't designed with writing using the Apple Pencil in mind, but having the iPad in this strange backwards upside down configuration is sort of like a temporary fix if you have the keyboard case on you and need to take a small amount of notes. I definitely wouldn't say you can take notes like this for hours on end. So unfortunately, not quite the ideal world that I was hoping for, where I could type notes on a keyboard and then take out the Apple Pencil and start writing down handwritten notes like that. Now, if you're going to take notes using the Apple Pencil in this position over here, you will notice that there is quite a bit of a wobble when you're writing down your notes, and I certainly would not be able to write down any kind of lengthy, complicated notes like you see on the screen here if I was using the iPad in this position. All right, now let's talk about the gesture gestures that you can use on the trackpad in order to navigate through your iPad. First things first, if you want to reach the multitasking menu, you take 3 fingers and move them up, but take a slight pause in the middle, and that's what brings up the multitasking page. You can move left and right through this page by swiping with 2 fingers, just like this, and if you want to select any of these, of course, you can just click right on it. If you want to go to the home screen from any open application, you take 3 fingers and swipe up, and if you want to switch through your open applications, you can take 3 fingers and just swipe left or right. If you want to open hovering applications, you can take your mouse and move it to the far right of the screen and then push right again. You can also swipe through the open multitasking applications that you have here using your 3 fingers moving left and right. And then if you want to close that, you can just go to the top here and drag that over to the side of the screen. Another convenient thing you can do is open Command Tab, which opens up all the apps like this, and then you can use Command Q to quit those apps and close them. Alright, and I think that's about everything that I wanted to talk about with the new Apple Magic Keyboard. If there's anything I forgot to mention or anything you'd like to ask me that wasn't in this video, please do let me know in a comment down below. My overall impressions with the iPad Magic Keyboard case is that if you use a keyboard for your iPad, then this is the one to get. If you're someone who does a lot of typing in their day, for example, if you're a university student or you have lots of essays to write, you do research on your iPad, maybe you write video scripts for YouTube videos on your iPad and you need a keyboard, then this is the one to get. Alright guys, and that is it for me for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please do leave me a like on this video and subscribe to my channel to see more content from me in the future. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace! And so today, that weight is finally... Test that for you. Now when you're sitting down on a table, this isn't as much of a problem. You'll see that I have to push the iPad quite far back before it starts to tilt. There you go. I have it in the...
Hey, today we're going to look at Tour de Force, the complete edition from Michael O'Brien. What is Tour de Force? It is a in-the-hands triumph effect. A triumph effect is basically where you take the cards, split them in half, and shuffle. You invert face-down cards into face-up cards, and then do a series of magical gestures. They all right themselves. You want to see the commercial for it? Here it is.
Let's take a look. Alright, I'm going to try something that's a little bit different. Can you do me a favor? I'm just going to riffle my thumb down the side of the deck, and all you have to do is just say stop anytime you want, okay? Stop. Right there? Alright, go ahead and take a look. Remember it? Okay. And we'll go ahead and place it back just like this. Now, I used to hand the deck out and let someone shuffle them, but guess what? I was at a bar one time, and the guy was really drunk. He took the deck from me and actually shuffled the cards like this, so that half the cards were face up, half the cards were face down, some back to back, some face to face. And he handed me the deck back, and I didn't know that anything had happened because it looked normal like this. But once I cut the cards, I could see something wasn't right. So he hands me the deck back and he says, all right, try to find my card. I said, I'll find your card under one condition. You tell me the name of the card that you saw. What card was it?
7 of diamonds.
7 of diamonds? Notice all of the cards are all facing the same way, except one. All right, do me a favor, go ahead and take it out and show everyone. Is that it? Now the thing is, fixing the deck and finding his selection wasn't the part that completely threw him off. The part that threw him off was, how the heck did they get the cards all back in the same order again?
Alright, so that was Michael O'Brien. This DVD was produced by David Bonfadini, and it was filmed at Rockwell's Cafe and Bakery. You might remember Michael O'Brien from a Theory 11 expose called The Rarest of the Rare. And if you'd like to learn more about Michael O'Brien, you can visit him at his website at o'brienmagic.com. This trick, the Tour de Force, like I said, it's an easy in-the-hands triumph. It's really streamlined and it's really simple. It makes it really simple to perform. But the moves that you do in this are all really natural looking, and the secret moves are virtually indetectable. Michael's going to go into all the details, how to do this trick, as well as the 5 variations of the trick, and it's awesome. You got a multiple card variation, you got a sandwich variation, a tabletop handling, a collector's plot, and even a trick that finalizes in new deck order. All right, so a couple questions we always ask about all of our Magic products, and the first of which is, what is in the box? What's in the box? You get a DVD and you get a box. That's what you get. There's nothing extra to this trick. You're going to be able to do this with any deck of cards. Is it what I thought? I've seen a couple of different Triumph effects. I do a Triumph effect personally, and the Triumph that I do does use an entirely gimmicked deck. And the thing I liked about this is the deck is completely standard. However, you do insert one, I'll say gimmick/gaff into it, but it's nothing that would surprise anybody. But the method did surprise me, and I completely enjoyed it. How are the angles? The angles on this are flawless. With enough practice, you should be able to bring all of your angles down to 0. You should be able to do this completely surrounded. Works great for walk around, stand up, going from table to table, whatever you like. Can it be inspected? For the most part, the deck is going to come across as a completely standard deck, and for the most part, it is. I would almost say that this could be a completely inspectable deck once the deck is finished. I don't think I would have any issues with the spectator finding the secret. All right, so what's the overall quality and production value of the DVD? This is where it was a little lacking for me. People who were magicians a long time way back might remember back in the day we didn't used to get DVDs, we used to get VHSs, and this is kind of what it felt like. It felt like a throwback to magic videos of long since past. The set that he chose had a echoey feeling where it sounded like the sound was being pulled into the walls, and it didn't sound like the different people were mic'd, and it just kind of felt like it was very home produced, and so it's not really at the standard, the HD, like high film, multiple angle level that some of you might be familiar with. I wouldn't let that detract you in any way from purchasing this. All right, so how much practice does this trick require? It will require some practice, not only in some of the sleights that are involved, but just in the phases as well, from the movement to the next movement to the next movement. It's a series of things that you have to remember, and I think that series all needs to be rehearsed. And so this would be something that I would want to practice over and over again in front of a mirror until I got it right. All right, so how much setup and reset is there? There's virtually none. There's that first initial setup where you're going to have to create your gaff. So there is some arts and crafts in this. It's not bad arts and crafts. It's arts and crafts that you've probably done already in the past. It's nothing that you're not going to be familiar with. Earlier I said you could use any deck you wanted with this, and that's true. But I would say if you want to use one of those custom or design decks, maybe if you use a specialty deck that isn't readily available at the store, you might want to pick up 2 and make your gaff out of your extra deck. All right, so positives. Positives for Tour de Force are it's a very visual Triumph. It's very clean and very elegant looking Triumph. I mean, the moves you see in the trailer or when you're watching it are the moves he's doing. So the only deception is in just you not knowing what he's doing, but it's very clean looking and very simple to follow. And I think the simpler you can strip a trick, and take the clutter out of it, the more elegance you can put into a trick, I think the more beautiful and the more interesting to watch it becomes. You're able to do this very slowly, and the spectator really believes he's watching all of these phases unfold in front of him, where in reality you're steps ahead. But I think that's what makes this a really cool and really clean trick. All right, so what are some of the negatives? Like we say around here, there's negatives to everything. These are just the negatives that I see. They don't have to be the negatives that you see. I've already mentioned I wasn't blown away with the production value. That's pretty much it. Everything else you get in this is awesome. All right, so is it worth your money? You are getting 6 tricks with this, but I would argue that they're really 6 tricks in one. You wouldn't do these 6 tricks for the same person. You would obviously cycle through them and just figure out which one you wanted to do in this situation. So in reality, you're getting 1 trick, you're getting 6 variations on a single trick, and so you'll have to decide if that's worth it for you. Who would like this? Anybody who collects the Triumph Effect, anybody who does card magic and is looking to do a really simple, elegant Triumph Effect would definitely like Tour de Force. All right, so that is Tour de Force. I want to say thank you to Michael O'Brien for providing me with this copy so that I could review it for you. And if you would like to purchase your own copy, you can find it at your favorite Murphy's Magic supplier. Thanks. Bye.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put those right there. I'm gonna make this as fair as I possibly could. Okay? Actually, leave this because we can put cards back in the box. You can cut this in half as many times as you want. Just cut it in half. And put that whole stack on top. So put this right here. Just cut it completely in half. So take that stack, that whole stack, place it on top of it. You want to make a complete cut. Okay? So cut, square it up, and cut it up again. Like that, and then put the other stack on top. Whole stack. That's a complete cut. So when you're playing cards, that's a complete cut. That's what they make you do when you go to Wind River, right? If you want to cut it again, it's up to you. Okay, just cut it in half one more time, but put this one off to the side.
This one?
Yep, just right there. Okay, now here's the deal. I'm gonna make this as fair as possible. Do you want to keep this one and get rid of that one, or do you want to keep this one and get rid of that one? It's completely up to you. You choose.
I keep that one.
You want to keep that one? Okay, so we'll get rid of this one. And this is an example I'm going to show you with this that what you're going to do next. So go ahead and pick that up. Okay, so you played the Powerball, right? You get 5 numbers, am I correct? And then you have 1 number, your Powerball number, it makes the 6th number, correct? So here's the deal. You're going to deal cards down. And make sure it's not 6. Make sure it's more than 6, okay? So you're just going to deal cards down, just how I showed you, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just make sure it's more than 6 cards. So just deal them face down, 1 by 1, on top of each other, so that way you have more than 6 cards. And that's where you want to stop? Okay, here's the deal. Now once again, do you want to keep the cards you dealt, or do you want to get rid of them?
I'll get rid of them.
You want to get rid of them? Alright, one more time for me. Okay, the choice is all yours. You want to get rid of those? Perfect. Beautiful. Pick up those for me, and then here's what you're going to do. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to go back and deal them until you run out of cards. Okay? You're going to go back and deal them on top of each other until you run out of cards. So go ahead.
6?
Yep, because you have 6 numbers in the Powerball. Perfect. Okay, so here's the deal. These 2 are by themselves, correct? So these will be separate ones. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to place things like this. Now, same choice. This has all been pretty fair, would you say? You've had a choice of what you got to keep, what you want to get rid of. I haven't influenced you in any way for any of these choices because I asked you, do you want to keep this one, do you want to get rid of this one? Same thing. Between these 2, which one do you want to keep and which one do you want to get rid of?
I'll get rid of this one.
Okay, now you can change your mind. It's completely up to you anytime you want to. But you want to get rid of this one? You paused it? Perfect. Next stack, which one do you want to get rid of? This one? Okay, perfect. So we'll put this one down here. Okay, my hands are pretty clean here, I'm fair. Between those 2? This one? Okay. And one more time. This one right here. Okay, so I'm going to take all these cards, and I'm going to try this right here. We're going to go like this, okay? I'm going to give these to you, Pablo. Now let me recap this. The lottery, I said you have a 1 in 14 million chance of winning. I only have 52 numbers, 52 cards in the deck of cards, correct? So In reality, I still have a 1 in 14 million chance of trying to guess what numbers you pick. That is very slim for myself as well. And you chose it. I asked you if you wanted this one or that one. You got rid of what you wanted and what you didn't want.
Yes.
Can you do me a favor? Grab that. Okay? Paulina. Here's what you're going to do. I'm going to give you those. Paulina, you're going to take that. Actually, no. You go ahead and just open it up. That is a Powerball ticket. Now, here's what we're going to do. I want you to read the first number, and then I want you to deal the top card.
Like flip it over?
Yep. So when you read that, once you read that first number, I want you to flip that top card. So go ahead and read the first number for me. 2. That's luck. That's luck. But go ahead.
16. 43.
And what's the Powerball? 27?
25.
I'm sorry, 25. 25.
What?
So I have. I mean, that's a pretty good ticket. And that thing hasn't yet actually been played yet tonight. That goes on tonight. But people are like, I want to take that ticket with me, right? Well, unfortunately, I wrote my name on it, so it stays with me. But I can split the winnings if I win with it. So. Wow. Yeah, it's Powerball, man. Powerball.
Watch him win. I know. I'll be like, what it was?
This is Lazarus Benson, and I'm out.
Oh, bummer. Hey, you want some help?
Sure.
All right. And ready? Bye.
Thank you. Next up, Tower of Terror. It's gonna be awesome.
Nope, we're not doing it.
Yes, you are, Zach.
We are not going. I'm not going on.
You wanted an adventurous ride. That's your
No, there is
adventurous
nothing
ride.
you can do to get me on that ride.
Yeah.
Babe, I'm too scared.
You can do it, Zach. It's
I
gonna be
can't.
so fun.
Dude, I'll see you downstairs,
no, you
okay?
Can do it.
I'll see you downstairs.
Oh, not again, Zach.
Hey! Gotta have this app, so now let's travel around with this. And then convert it. What? Dude! Thank you so much. Alright. Where's the remote? Let's lose that stuff. Oh, my sweater. Sweet. Hey guys!
Hi, Zach.
Hey, hold on, I'll be right there.
Let's go.
Okay guys, move over. Ready? Oh hey guys. Hey Zach. You ready?
Hi.
Oh. Wait, what? That's awkward. Let's change that.
What?
That's amazing.
No. Whoa.
Ready? Hey, chill out. This is how I get rid of my paperwork. Hey, Zach King here. With HIS Go's online support, it's so easy to get around Japan.
Delivery.
Ah. Thank you. This is how I save my bills. This is how I work from anywhere. Thank you. And actually, really quick, we need to get some, hard hats on. And, oh, yeah, Hunter, you need one. Here you go. Thank you. Get it wrapped. Doing this for later. And eggnog. Off in the right spirit here. We're gonna go have some fun with this.
Lucy likes light literature. Bring a bit of buttered brown bran bread. Geese cackle, cattle low, crows caw.
All right, got lunch orders for you guys. What do you want?
I'll take a salad.
Salad, one salad.
What? We're not rabbits. He'll have a burger. Make it 2 double cheeseburgers and 1 little burger for him.
Okay, copy.
Whoa.
Ah, a magician, eh?
Well, I dabble on the weekends.
I, too, have been known to dabble.
Well, that is a beautiful rendition of classic magic. Napkin to dove trick, I like it, but I prefer a less traditional approach to my tricks.
Very nice, Zach. But don't forget the most important tradition. Playing to your audience.
Thank you.
But audiences today really love the flashy tricks.
Getting a little hot-headed there, Zach.
Hey!
I think you need to cool down.
Oh, we need everyone back on set. What's going on? Where's Jack?
Wait, Jack? He was just here. How is that possible? Wait, where did he go? Did you see him go somewhere?
A great magician always saves his best trick
for last.
Guys, so today I'm going to be going over a little announcement. I'm going to be featuring a channel called Card Shuffler 99. You guys have to check them out. I saw their channel and they reached out to me asking if they could be on this one here, and I said yes, just because their content's really great and I feel like they have a lot of potential here on YouTube, so make sure to check them out. Also, I did not post a video last week because I ended up hurting my finger. You guys can't see it right now, but what happened was it was kind of bad. It's just I couldn't really hold the cards. I didn't really want that being, in the video in that way. So anyways, guys, make sure to check them out. I am going to be posting a video throughout the next week or so, hopefully getting back into them. But anyways, guys, here is the video. Make sure to check them out, and here they are.
Hey, what's up, guys? It is Card Shuffler 99 here. First of all, thank you so much to Hester for featuring us on your channel. We will be featuring Hester back on our channel as well, Card Shuffler 99. So be sure to check out his video on our channel. You can check us out if you like what you see here today. Be sure to subscribe to Card Shuffler 99 and show your support. We do daily uploads, live streams, giveaways, all that fun stuff, really. So anyway, without wasting any time, let's get straight into the performance of this trick. Once again, thank you so much to Hester. Robert, do you have a phone I could borrow by any chance?
Yeah, I got you.
And can you open up the calculator app, please?
Okay.
Once you have that ready, I'll take it. Perfect. What we're going to do today is we're going to try to multiply a bunch of random numbers together that are going to be provided by you, okay?
Okay.
I don't want to have any influence on this. So, Robert, please confirm that is your phone and that is your calculator.
That's my phone. That is my calculator.
Perfect. Robert, hold up the phone to the camera, please. What I want you to do is type in a random 4-digit number. Make sure you show the camera so they can see it. And now hit multiply.
Multiply.
Now set the phone down. I'm going to hand you the deck here. And what I want you to do, I don't want you to think that I'm forcing cards on you. So I want you to take the deck, take out any 3 cards you want, and we're going to type those cards in as one number, okay? So we're only taking the value here. Okay, so we got 3, 9, and 7, okay? What order do you want to type these in?
739.
739. Perfect. So we'll go ahead. You type it in. 739.
739.
Now hit multiply again. And you can actually see the numbers are actually multiplying. Okay. And Robert, one last time, let's type in a random 3-digit number. You can pick the number. Do it between 100 and 300.
100 and 300?
Yeah, random 3-digit number between 100 and 300. Go ahead, type that in for the camera.
Let's go to...
Now hit equals.
Equals? Okay.
And you can see we get a pretty big number. And I'm actually going to write this number down. Robert, can you hand me that post pad, please?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
All right, here we go. I'm going to write the number down. So, Robert, if you could read the number out loud, please.
5.
5.
7.
7.
7.
7.
3.
3.
4.
4.
5.
5.
6.
6.
6.
6.
3.
3. Please confirm that that is the right number. 577-345-663.
Yep, that is.
Make sure the camera sees both. They are correct, correct?
Yep. Do we need
Good.
this anymore?
We don't need your phone anymore. We don't need the deck anymore, actually. Now, for the first time, I'm actually going to reveal my prediction. It sat here on the table the entire time. You guys could see it here. I didn't touch it. I didn't move it. But you'd be surprised. My prediction skills are pretty good, and I actually could predict the right number. 3, 2, 1. Actually, Robert, you lift it up. It's an egg. It's an egg.
Like that dramatic effect.
But this isn't entirely my prediction. No, no, no. Let's see here. This, my friends, right here. This is my prediction. Robert, what are these?
That's an eggshell.
Eggshells. We don't need this. I'll eat that some other time. But this, my friends, is the prediction. Eggshells. And a lot of you might be thinking, what does eggshells have anything to do with this trick? Well, remember, Robert.
What does it have to do?
It's
a number.
It seems weird, right? Because we did a calculator number trick, right?
Yeah.
And this is my prediction, eggshells. A lot of you might be wondering. Remember, you got to type in any random numbers you wanted, correct?
Yeah.
And we got to multiply. I didn't touch the calculator. You did all the work. Well, you'd be pretty surprised that this actually is a perfect prediction, because if I take your number that we multiplied and I turn it upside down, it'll actually read eggshells. And that is the trick. And anyway, let's get straight to the tutorial. Okay, guys, so basically this is a pretty cool application trick for a really big calculator effect known as Toxic, okay? So I know Hester did perform and reveal another calculator trick very similar to this, but this uses a different method. When Hester did the multiplying, I know a lot, I actually read the comments, and I know a lot of you guys were saying, one of the biggest concerns with Hester's method is the number always going to 0 after you multiply the numbers. This method eliminates that, okay? So, this is not the same method as what Hester uses. This is known as Toxic. So, I'm going to show you guys how to set it up. Now, you can do this. It works best with iPhone calculators. Now, a lot of you guys were saying you can't do this with Android phones. You actually can.
You can, right
But
here.
you need a specific calculator, okay? The calculators, there are some calculators where if you type in like 5 plus 6, in the top it'll actually read 5 plus 6. You don't want that, okay? So if you have like one of those calculators that, does all the calculations in a string, and it actually shows you what's happening, you can't use that. So iPhone calculators work. This app right here on Android phones actually works.
Real Calc Scientific Calculator.
And
That
certain
works.
calculators like this will actually work. Now, you just need to make sure it doesn't multiply in a string, and you should be good to go for the calculator, okay? So, basically what I did here, this is a way, Toxic is a calculator effect that allows you to force numbers, okay? So I'm going to come around and show you guys how you set this up. So, you guys can use the same kind of effect that we used. This number right here actually spells eggshells, okay?
But you have to write it a certain way?
You don't necessarily have to write it a certain way, but I'm going to tell you guys there are a bunch of ways that you guys can perform this effect with the calculator. So, there's a bunch of ways. One way, you can just have a written prediction. You can have this folded up in your pocket, or you can show it on the table. Do the multiplying, and then just show the number, matched. You can do something like what we did, where, the number actually spells something upside down, and you showed that as your prediction. You can do what Hester did, where, you force a card, and the card has the number written on the card, okay? Or you can, you can even force the individual cards. So you could force a 5 of hearts, a 7 of diamonds, a 7 of clubs, a bunch of individual cards for the number if you wanted to. Now, this works for any number, so don't just think that you need to use the number that I'm supplying, okay? You can do this with any number. So you're going to take your calculator, and how are you going to do this? All you're going to do is you're going to type in a series of calculations. So go ahead and type in your number. So 577
345
345
663.
663. So you're going to type in your number, and you're going to hit plus 0 times 0, and then you're going to hit the open bracket, and that's your entire setup, okay? Now, this is a very clever trick, because what this allows you to do is start multiplying numbers, and it'll always go back to the original number you typed in. Now, perfect. It starts at 0. So let's say they say 965, right? You hit multiply, you multiply that by 69. You hit multiply again. It actually does the calculation at the top, right? You hit 96. Hit that. You hit 65478, right? You hit that. See, we already had a huge number, right? If you hit like 6 and then you hit equals, it just goes back to the original number. So I guess the best way I can kind of show this to you guys, if I take the number 3, I go plus 0 times 0, open bracket. So that's the setup. And then I just start typing in some random numbers and start multiplying it. Just like that. Look at those huge numbers. It just goes back to 3. Okay? That's all you need to know. Now, you can do this. It works really well with a borrowed calculator. Now, you just have to make some excuse. A lot of people, what they like to do is they like to, say they're taking a selfie on your phone. Some people just buy time while they're actually setting up the calculator, okay? But once again, you don't have to use the same method, but once you know the calculator, you can do this any way you want. From there, I just wrote it down. Now, if you guys are going to use eggshells for your performance technique, the way you write the 5, you want to write the 5 a little longer just so it looks more like an S. Don't just write like a really square 5, I guess you could say. And it will spell eggshells. Now, there are a bunch of other numbers that will spell words upside down, so you guys can really, play around with that method. If you guys just want to write down a prediction that works well, this is a great trick. Now, be careful because you don't want the number on the calculator to go above the prediction number. So let's say, this is your number, right? And you're multiplying a bunch of numbers. And let's say the number goes above that and then you still have to multiply more numbers. That's not good, okay? So be cautious as, make sure you know what number you're putting in. And make sure you're smart about it, okay? Something I recommend doing, make the numbers seem as random as possible. You can tell them, name me a random 4-digit. Then have them select random cards, out of the deck and type that in. Find as many ways to get numbers. If you have like multiple spectators, ask them to each name one number. Do as many things as you can to get this trick to work to the best of its ability, okay? Now, of course, you don't need to perform this with cards. We just know a lot of people prefer card tricks, so we tried to bring cards into this little effect. If you guys are more into card tricks and you're not really into these big calculator tricks, still check out our channel. We primarily do card tricks on our channel anyway. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to Card Shuffler 99 for daily uploads and quality tricks such as this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, thank you so much to Hester for featuring us. And this is Card Shuffler 99. Thank you guys so much.
Look at this.
What?
They've got guns.
Oh.
Watch this.
That was cool.
Oh my god!
Alright, let's go.
Oh, Xavier, your laces.
Oh. Better?
Are you gonna go without a tie? Wow. What about a hat?
Let's go.
Okay.
last toilet paper roll, really?
Give it to me.
Ooh. Whoa.
We got this.
Yeah. Oh.
Can I pay with my phone?
Yeah.
Like, so you just rub it like this. And
Shut up. Do it again. What the hell did you just get? Wait, one more time.
hey!
Hey, you got mail.
Oh, it's my mom. Always sends me chocolate.
Oh.
Come on in. Oh, your shoes.
What? Hey, how did you just do that?
This chocolate never ends.
That's cool. Whoa.
Hey, your shoes.
Huh? What?
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Watch this.
Where did the liquid go? Where'd your cup? Oh.
So you just have to pull. Yeah. Down though.
Oh!
I'm just gonna leave all this in.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy in Mexico.
You're not in Mexico.
I like Mexico. What's up, guys? It's your boy Rocco with the cool mohawk. You know, yeah, kind of cool mohawk, huh? You're not gonna get another word out of me until you hit that subscribe button. So, you know.
2 hours later. Six hours later.
Have you hit it yet? Did you hit it yet? Did you hit it yet? Did you?
The next day.
Alright, I think you guys hit it. So, it's another rainy day in California, and we're basically trapped inside of this house or else we get wet. So shout out to It's Your Boy on YouTube doing videos of crazy, impossible tricks. So he's been keeping me entertained all day while it's been raining out here in California. So I'm gonna show you a couple of them. Let's do it. So here's the first trick. You just get $1, put it on there.
Oh, thanks. You didn't say what it was for.
Can I see that $1 real quick?
Ta-da. You said see it. If you ask nicely.
Can you please give me that $1?
Okay.
So, all you're gonna do is, you need this. I need that $1. You just go, you need like a glass bottle like this. You put $1, any type of bill you have on there. You set the quarters on there. And then this.
Wow, amazing trick, Rocco.
Stop.
Wow, that is, round of applause, guys. Look at that trick. Wait, that wasn't part of the trick?
No.
Well, this just got awkward.
Oh my god!
Okay, we get the trick, Rocco. You get the money off the bottle. You spill it everywhere. Why do you keep showing me this? Okay, guys, I'll cut all this out.
I heard you. Alright, so for the first one, you just want a $1 bill. Or any type of bill you have.
Heard this before.
So you're just gonna put it on, just try to follow like that, and then.
That was impressive. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Do you think your mom could do this?
Mom! Can you come here? I want to show you something.
Try again. Should do it like from Stewie. Maybe she'll come if you say it enough.
Mom, mommy, mom, mommy, mommy, mommy.
See, it worked.
Hello. What are you guys bugging me about?
So let me show you something.
I was right there, by the way. I was there. Now I'm here.
Alright, so
what were you yelling for me for when I'm right there?
You gotta
Try
get.
to get the dollar out from underneath.
Oh,
the walls,
okay. Okay.
easy.
So you just have to pull.
Yeah. Down though.
Oh! Oh my gosh!
Not to look how I left the coins. What the?
Oh my gosh!
That was cool. Don't try to be me.
Next!
I won that one for cool, for best style.
No, your mom's was way better. Next trick.
Alright, so for this one, you need some balloons. So
Yo, take it easy, Rocco. I hate this, Rocco.
Always try to.
Ow!
Pops. But
Can we not do a balloon one, guys? I hate balloons.
you get some dish soap, another balloon.
Let me try to do this. So what do you do? So you just put dish soap on it?
Yeah.
Okay, just like.
Oh, that's a lot of dish soap you're putting on over there.
You didn't say how much.
So what are you supposed to do?
Don't like that. Just like slowly.
I'm scared.
Slowly.
That one's not working. You better go get some.
I messed up.
Why?
You're supposed to put it on the balloon.
The soap goes on the balloon?
Yeah.
Alright guys, so check out these t-shirts right here. These beautiful t-shirts. There's only 25 left. So make sure you go get one before they're all gone, because after they're gone, that's it. There's no more. If you want to get one of those amazing t-shirts, go
Or
to,
one of your
or
amazing
one of
shirts.
these amazing sweatshirts that keeps me so warm.
And we got new lanyards.
And we got there's new lanyards, there's there's anything you can imagine is on that website. So go to roccosonlinestore.com. Go to roccosonlinestore.com or hit that link in the description below. Right there. Hit it, guys.
So you're supposed to cover the whole balloon in soap?
Well, of course, we can't seem to do it because we fail all the time.
What were you trying to do? I don't even think you
So
explained.
it goes through the whole balloon.
And the skewer goes in the balloon?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll just put a clip right here.
And coat it with a thin layer of washing up liquid, without it popping.
So that was a fail.
Next!
So if you still have the glass bottle that you used for the coin trick, it's $1. Well, you're gonna take a normal straw. Alright, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Try to move it without touching it or blowing it.
Rebecca has to try and do what?
She has to move it like that, like without touching it or moving it. Touching it or blowing on it.
That's impossible. What am I supposed to stare at it? It's not working.
Yeah,
It's not possible, Rocco.
so what Itsy Boy told me, you just put it and you rub it on your shirt, so it's kind of like that staticky electricity, whatever. So once you've done that,
I told you it's impossible, Rocco. it's impossible.
Try the blanket.
So if you can't, just try to find something in your house. All right. Oh, I did first.
Get your hand staticky.
He's rubbing it
under.
Oh.
Lift it up, you'll hear the static.
Oh, hey guys.
Oh, hi. This trick isn't working.
What are you doing?
Again, we'll show you the clip right
there.
The way you traditionally do it is you take it off and you rub it in your shirt.
Whoa! Airbender Sean! I thought you waterbended.
Wait, I know how to do this. Becca.
Yes.
Move one stick and make a square.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so is that important right there?
The way that layout is important. You can have the points there.
All right, you're gonna move one stick, not two sticks, not three sticks, not four stick, one stick, and make a square.
Wow. Hey, take it easy. You can't, I mean, if I like move that one, it would. See. Nor to, what?
She can pick it up and lift it and put it anywhere. One of them.
One to make us, how?
I don't think Rebecca's getting it.
No,
Only move one stick.
There's
make
no,
a square.
no, there's no stick I can move to make a square, Rocco.
Do you want him to show you how?
Yeah.
Come on, bring it closer. Just watch how.
That's
okay. Like right there. That's good. So just watch what I do, and I'm only moving one stick.
Let's get the camera on this.
All right. Ready? All you have to do one stick.
That's the square?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I didn't say you can't make it small or big. I feel like I could use my hair as a half pipe right now. Like a spine. That's how much gel I put.
I don't think that's a good one. I don't like it.
Well, she's getting stuff. This is more of a optical illusion, I guess.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
So it's just kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
So you need a clear glass and a piece of paper and a marker.
So just write one.
You said to write one.
Alright. Spell out the number one.
Like that?
Okay. Alright. Now, I'm just gonna set it. Is that good?
Okay, I can see it.
Alright. Ready?
Now what? Does it not work?
That's so cool.
Wait, what's going on, guys? I don't know.
It didn't do anything.
No, didn't do anything.
What was it supposed to do?
Just pull up the video.
Did we not go high enough?
Okay, well now that I've seen the video, so it was supposed to make 1 and 2 now? How? Wow.
Well, DIY. Back behind the glass.
That didn't work either, no matter what we tried.
Our rainy day just turned into a sad rainy day because we didn't get it.
Those are more interesting to watch than do.
I second that. Well, what else should we do?
How about you guys hit that subscribe button?
Or how about we go online shopping? How about you guys go online shopping?
Where?
Where else do you think? Rocco's online store. Dude, yeah, let's go! Let's do it. We're gonna go shopping on Rocco's online store. You guys go shopping on Rocco's online store after you hit that subscribe button. Not before, after. Make sure, like Rocco said, hit that subscribe button.
Buckets. I can make this water disappear really slow.
Oh my god, you're about to trip over my foot. You know we're in a drought, right?
We've lived in a drought.